Yeah, I got another project started. It's my favorite thing to do. I like to get one going, and then switch to another one. Maybe have another one going. Whatever. Hey, that's how I operate. Uh, there's no rhyme to my reason. There's no method to my methodology. I get inspired to do something, and I get started on it. I can't help it. This is one of Harry's resin prints. He calls it the Hoss. A lot of you have already seen it. He sent me one of these, and it'd been sitting around, and I just had to get going on it. I love square body pickups. I've had a few in my lifetime, and I just thought I'd see what I could do with one. I'm gonna turn it into a race truck. I know there was a series on these trucks years ago. I don't think the series lasted very long, so there's not a whole lot of information on them. You can find some pictures. That's what I've been going off of. A little research, and just kind of putting my own spin on it. Put some stripes on this one. Got the number on there, on the sides, on the doors. Wasn't really sure about how that color would go with the blue on that number, but I think it looks pretty neat. Kind of pops. And then just went over the stripes with it. Been working a little bit on the grill. Got some of the grill painted in there with a chrome pen. Still got another coat to go over that. It's not perfect, but it's looking decent. Just covered the headlights, tried to make it look like sheet metal over the headlights. Just going off of some of the pictures I found, that's what they did. Made the rear wing is just a piece of for sale sign, styrene. Just kind of bent the bottom of it there, and the way he printed that out, he's got a groove for a wing to set in there, so I just made my own. I gotta touch the paint a little bit. I got a lot of work to do on this yet, but this is a work in progress. But the roll cage is, I use this stuff I got off of Amazon. It's just styrene rod. And when you get a bunch of it, it's not too expensive, pretty cheap. That's what I used for the interior. Just the for sale sign. I just got it taped in there. I'll show you how I did that. Because this is kind of unique. He had the way that print came out. There's a couple of, you can see where the holes are supposed to go for the roll cages to come through the bed, and you drill those out, and I drilled them on an angle so that roll bar would come through there, and it's not glued up in there where it meets the interior cage. That way you can still pull this out. You know, if you had that glued, you couldn't pull your interior out if you wanted to. You can glue it if you want. You know, you can make the whole thing solid, but once you glue those, you can't get your interior out. So I just got those. They're just kind of the top's just floating there. That's not glued. It's glued under here. You can't see it, but it's glued where it comes through the body. But you can't really tell that it's not attached. It's just kind of barely touching it. The paint needs to be touched up yet, but you get the idea of how that looks. You can kind of see the dash in there a little bit. Real simple dash. I just take a piece of that styrene from the for sale sign and just fold it in a triangle. Just make a little triangle out of it and stick it in there. Still got to put a driver and all that in it, but you can tell I got a windshield in it. So the windshield is, believe it or not, the plastic off one of these Dremel tool cut off disc. This piece of plastic on the very back, I used one of my old packages and cut a piece of the plastic out and just formed it to that windshield. Stuck it in there. I'll eventually put the supports in the windshield like the NASCARs have, and you know, like the old Build car. I got Dale in there. Junior's chilling. He's waiting for his chassis. He's like, "What's going on? Where's my wheels?" Like I said, I like to get 14 projects started and at one time. It's just how I roll. But anyway, that's the square body, the Haas truck. That thing's gonna be sweet when it gets done. It's gonna be a neat looking slot car. But yeah, that's how. And then got my Porsche back today from Dave. Look at my stable's getting kind of full. All my scratch builds. That was not a scratch build, but you know, there's the Porsche. Did okay, didn't break any records, but did just fine. Dave gave me some interiors that he's been working on. He designed these, printed these. Freaking awesome. Love it. Just, you know, especially if you're in a hurry and you don't want to mess with building one like I had to do for this thing. Which is fun too. I like building interiors. I enjoy doing the bar work on it. I don't have a problem with it, but yeah, I can see where these things, if you didn't want to mess with any of that, and like I said, if you were in a hurry, I mean, dude, that's the way to go right there. Paint them up, trim them up a little bit to fit, and it looked good. Got the fire extinguisher in there. Awesome. But I was gonna say, I just use this Super Weld for this JB Weld Super Weld Super Glue. Works good on the styrene for bar work. You can use the glue of your choice. Everybody's got their favorites, but yeah, I just thought I'd do just a short little update. Well, short is 7 minutes now, but I'll give you a little update on what I've been working on. I don't have the midget over here. It's on the other side. I need to get Heavy Metal's car done so he can start turning laps. I gotta have that thing done by December. Gotta make sure I make it to George's. But yeah, George's Proxy's gonna be a good one. The Showdown's coming up this winter. You guys, if you're not familiar with that, go to homeracingworld.com, sign up. Get on their forums, check out all the proxies. Harry has some awesome ones. George has got some great ones. Dave's gonna do another one next year, he says, for the Fast Lap Challenge. I'm sure I'll get back in it again and have the slowest time ever, and that's cool because I don't care. It's a blast. It's fun. Tell you what, the scratch building stuff, it's where it's at. You guys, if you haven't tried it, quit telling yourself you can't do it, because I'm still pretty green. I've only been doing it for about 2 years, and you see what it's turned into for me in a couple of years. Track, cars, it's gotten a little bit insane, but I wouldn't change a thing. It's a good time, and I have a blast doing it. And like I always said, it's good for you. It's good for your brain. It's good for just to forget about things and work on something that's maybe not completely necessary, but you enjoy it, so that makes it necessary. So, all right, guys, thanks for checking out my video. And like I say, make it slot.